Okay, so we've got the Sancassiano PLT120 mixer. To change the program or edit the program, the key needs to be in the programming mode, otherwise you can't change any recipes or which recipe you're running in. You've got your start stop, you've got your bowl raise, bowl lower. When you select manual feed in the system, once the manual feed brings the bowl halfway, the operator can put the product in. Then once they're finished, they need to confirm that the manual feed's done. The reset alarm, you need to hold for 3 seconds. If there's any alarms, it needs to be held for 3 seconds, and you've got auto discharge on off. When that's on, it's waiting for a signal from downstream, and once that's received, the mixer will discharge automatically and the bowl will stay in the up position. On the touchscreen, we've got multiple modes. We've got the automatic mode, which will go by the recipe. We can go into manual mode, then we can go to manual controls. We can open and close the discharge. So this button will open and close the discharge when the bowl is in the up position. So the bowl has to be in the full up position, then this manual page works. You can close it. We can say we want 10 seconds of running. If we would like to do the washing, we can turn the washing valve on. And for that to come into effect, you need to press the start button. So the COP/washing valve is opened, and the stirrers are mixing for 10 seconds as selected in the program in the manual function. Other options that the operator can do, for example, they can just mix without a recipe for say 20 seconds at 100 RPM, and we can say we want positive pressure. So the system then will run for 20 seconds and turn on the positive pressure. Again, you need to press the start for this function. Now we've got the positive pressure. The shut-off valve is closed, so the bowl is becoming under pressure. The system has now finished its 20 seconds in manual mode. The valve's opened again and the pressure's off. This same sequence happens with the vacuum. So if I put in say 20 seconds and I select vacuum, as soon as I press the start button, it will put the bowl under vacuum, plus it will mix for 20 seconds at 100 RPM. When we go into our automatic cycles, we need to put the system into automatic. We've got a recipe, so at the moment we've got recipe 1. I can select what phases I want to change. Ensure the program key is on programming, and then we can decide we want to mix 10 seconds for 50 RPM. The second phase is 40 seconds at 100 RPM, and I'm putting the positive pressure in. The third phase, or second phase, sorry, is 40 seconds at 75 RPM, and I'm also doing positive pressure. And that's our last phase. I've got 0 for everything. The system's also got power dosing and liquid dosing and manual dosing. If I select the manual dosing, the system will run to the certain phase that the manual dosing is selected. The bowl will move down halfway. The manual feed button will flash, so the operators can open the door at their products. Then they close the door, reset the alarm for 3 seconds, and continue the manual feed. Then the system continues in the phase. If for any reasons the powder dosing or the liquid dosing is selected, the system will go into alarm and it will give us a timeout. I will show that later on how to bypass that. Once we're with our program, we're happy with the recipe, we'll turn the program switch back to 0. We'll go into main, we'll go into production. Sorry, to change the recipe we also have to switch in the program. So we'll go to recipe 1 and it will tell us what's happening once we start. We'll turn the program switch back off. We will bring the bowl up. The bowl is now moving into the up position. The stirrers are whisking. Once it reaches a certain mid position, you don't have to hold the button anymore. It brings it up automatically all the way to the top. So now the bowl is in the top position, and the operator, once the recipe is selected, can press start. Now the progress will go through all different phases. If someone in the programming the recipe accidentally selects powder dosing or liquid dosing and the external signals are not connected, what happens is the system will run to that phase, for example phase 1, then it will come up with a timeout error. The only way to get past that timeout error is to stop the system, change the phase number to the last number that was used in the recipe, for example number 3, and then go back into the programming recipe and take off the powder dosing, and then it will continue running as normal. So I'm just going to demonstrate that. We're just going to start a recipe, just pushing the start button. The bowl is getting itself in position because it was halfway down. The system is now doing phase 1 in the recipe. So now it's happened to phase where the powder was selected on. We will now get a timeout message because there's no external inputs that's connected to the powder system. Our timeout message is timeout automatic dosing powder. If I press the reset, the buzzer stops, but I can't reset the alarm. So what we need to do now, we need to push the phase 3. The system is now finished because it was the last phase in the recipe. The bowl will come down to the halfway mark. Now we can go back to the main recipe programming. We will turn the program key on. I will go to the phase that the dosing has been selected, which is phase number 1, and I can turn that off. And then phase 2 and phase 3 is the last phase. Now I can go back to production run. I can go back to non-program mode, and when I press start now, the system starts as normal. The other option is we have if there is powder or liquid dosing, it needs an external complete signal to say yes, the dosing has been completed, then these alarms won't